Kim, it's great to talk to you today about last night's show and what appeared to be a cakewalk for you, ending up in the final twosome. Can you give us a little perspective as you watched it last night and, of course, while you were there?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was great to watch it. It's been tough keeping everything a secret for so long, and it's nice that we know that the end is only a week away, and it was great. I got to watch it with my family, so yeah, it was just a good night, and it was tough to see Lori go like that. Nobody really wants to see anybody go on three putts, but we saw it before with Adrian and now with Lori, so I don't know. It was tough to relive that, but tougher for Lori, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to say, going in, I was fully expecting Sophie to be the one leaving, and once again, I was wrong. But when you look back at even the beginning of this whole series, when you first got there and you were looking at all the ladies watching them play, who did you think you were going to be having to face off if you got to the end?
I had thought Adrian or Lori. Yeah.
Okay.
Those were the two strongest players. I mean, I didn't know Sophie or a few of the other girls, but of all the girls that I knew, I thought that Adrian and Lori would be the toughest competition.
Okay. All right. Now, going into next week, you've got Sophie there, who has surprised us more than once, and perhaps her European style with being able to play in the heavy winds might give her an advantage. How are you feeling about going into next week facing her?
I definitely knew that she was going to be a really tough match because it's just so windy in Hawaii, and we had to deal with it every day. And she played great shot after great shot. I mean, they weren't always the prettiest things to look at, but she got the job done over and over again. So I knew it would be tough.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of pretty shots, there was a few comments last night by Andrew and Stina about your play, saying that you were playing sort of not to lose and playing a little safe. And I'm curious what your perspective is on that. What was your strategy going into that?
I wanted to give myself the best shots possible into the greens because these greens are so hard because of the wind that, you just don't want to leave yourself with 30 yards on a downhill lie. You'd rather come in from 100 yards on a flat lie and try and hold the green. So, I know that I'm a bit longer than the other girls, but I think there's a time and a place to use that to my advantage, and there's, a time and a place where I have to kind of hang back and play it smart, and that's what I was trying to do last night. Even though Andrew and Stina thought I should hit driver on every hole and, go for everything, but that's not how I always play golf.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, we all wanted you to hit driver on every hole.
Yeah.
We all wanted to see those 300-plus yard drives out there.
Well, yeah, and, I mean, that hole where I hit the 4-iron off the tee, there's no way that, I even thought about driving the green. That didn't even come into my head. I didn't think it was possible, but I hit 4-iron and I'm 30 yards away from the green, and I'm kind of kicking myself afterwards, thinking, okay, maybe I could have hit 4 with a driver and reached this green.
Yeah, we're going to be looking forward to seeing some of those drives next week. I can tell you that. You don't want to disappoint your fans.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So you finished off, and Lori had to take the walk and move on. And talking to her last night, she shared a little bit about that she thought she was becoming a little complacent or a little nonchalant, I think was her word, about the game after she won so much cash, that that might have affected, she implied that it might have affected her game. What do you think about that?
Like she had already kind of won, I guess.
Yeah, and she even brought up the word guilt at one point, feeling a little guilty that she'd already won. Now, I don't think that was something she consciously went into it. But I think in hindsight, she's thinking, something wasn't right. And, she was thinking she might have been a little too nonchalant going into the competition that night. So did you see anything that would give you the sense that she wasn't putting 100% into her shots?
That afternoon was funny. It was the afternoon after Christina had got eliminated. She was eliminated in the morning, then we broke for lunch. And then, you know, we had to change and act like it was a new day and go out and play those 6 holes in the afternoon. And I think because the previous few days had been so stressful and, you know, there's so much drama involved that when we got to that afternoon and it was just the 3 of us left, we were friends, but, you know, we were friends at that point. I think we all just kind of wanted to relax and have some fun, even though there was a lot on the line. So we were acting really goofy on the golf course, and, you know, it didn't look like we were taking it very serious, even though in my mind, you know, once I got over the golf ball, I was serious and I was focused. But as soon as I hit the shot, you know, we would kind of go back and laugh and cruise up the fairway together.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe she, you know, maybe she lost focus out there just because it was such a different attitude that we had on the golf course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it was surprising and seeing her, you know, drive those putts across the green to the other side.
I couldn't believe it.
It must have been hard watching it, being there, knowing that you are friends, and it must sort of break your heart, thinking, "Oh man."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because it's not like she was playing bad. You know, she was hitting decent shots and, you know, 3-putting from 18, 20 feet. It wasn't a good thing to watch just because, you know, you started getting ideas in your head about, are these greens that fast? Are they faster than what they think, you know, what I think they are? And, you know, so that kind of messes with you a little bit, but I don't know. I just remember feeling really bad for her, you know, especially after the first couple. The first couple I thought, okay, she can shake it off, but then you know, a couple more holes go by and you realize that she's just not into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the evening came and it was just you and Sophie left, and that must have felt kind of weird. Just you start off with all these ladies and you're down to the last 2. What was your evening like before your final matchup the next day?
It was really, really hectic because it was just a really long night that night because we had filmed 2 shows that day. We had to do 2 separate interviews that night, and we had to do 2 different confessionals. So it was just a really, really long, drawn-out day. And on top of all that, we had to pack because we were leaving the next day. And all the girls, all the eliminated contestants had kind of come back for, you know, so we could all get together one last time. And they had all bought, I mean, pictures from the clubhouse and just a million different things that they all wanted everybody to sign. And since Sophie and I hadn't seen them, you know, for a week or however long, we had about 2 million things in front of us that they wanted us to sign. So we sat there signing autographs on hats and posters and everything for the rest of the night. And, you know, we couldn't get through them all. It was so much.
Well, now you know what the LPGA players feel like when they're out there getting pounded for their autographs all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good training.
Good preparation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good training. Well, it was exciting. We're really looking forward to next week. I'll be glued to the TV set, and I'm, looking forward to us chatting about it next week. Any closing remarks you have for the audience tonight?
No, not really. Just enjoy the last show. Sorry to not give you any drama last week, or this past week. I'm sure people had gotten used to it.
Yeah, we did kind of get used to it, and then we were looking for it. But but we get to see good golf, and that's really what matters. Yeah. That's the most important thing. So, well, good luck with whatever your next tournament play, and we really look forward to talking to you again next week, and
you too.
Have fun watching it.
All right, thanks. You too, Gail.
Thanks, Kim. Take care.
Bye.